Hey everybody, Dr. Ben Atkins here, and welcome to a very special and kind of an odd presentation today. Odd in the way that this content's going to kind of be compared to what we normally do, but not odd in the money it's going to make you. So today we're going to talk about how offering a retractable banner service. I know it sounds weird, but trust me on this one, you're going to love what we've been doing and what you can do with this. So how offering a retractable banner service gets us agency customers. This is a foot in the door strategy, but it's a strategy that you usually foot in the door, you have to like sell something and then wait to sell something else. This is like instant $300 sale into $3,600 per year sale. And that's why this is going to be so much fun. So it's not going to take long to go through this today, which I love, short and sweet, but impactful. And that's what it's going to be. So let's talk about what today's call is. This is me with a banner that just arrived yesterday. Now, I've been ordering banners like this for about 10 years, probably a little bit longer than 10 years, actually. How many of you have ever seen one of these, or you've ordered one of these, you've used one of these? Give me a yes in the box if you've ever done one of these. Now, this banner in particular was for my band, which I also consider a business. My band is a business. Unlike a lot of bands out there, my band is a pretty decent little business. But this is what I ordered for my band. Now, that's cool and all for my band, but where I use these the most is with local clients. And that's what today's going to be about. But the reason I wanted to show you this banner is I wanted you to get an extent of the size of these things, because that's incredibly important to what we're going to be doing. Just so you guys can get a sense of this, I'm about 6 feet tall, like right at 6 feet. On my license and stuff, I'm listed as 6 feet. So I'm 6 feet tall. So this goes out to around probably a little over 7 feet. And the beautiful part about this 7 feet is that in most instances, it's really going to be something that people notice. And this is going to be something we get into too. But I want you to understand today's call is different. This is something I've been doing about 10 years. It's a business thing that has been really good with me. It goes perfectly with the digital stuff that we do. For those of you that have already scanned this with your phone because you're watching it on your computer, you kind of get what we're doing with this. But this is a very low level banner compared to what we're normally doing. Where I'm about to show you is what gets really interesting here. So by the end of this call, you're going to understand how to sell a service that works like crazy, meaning it gets results fast for businesses. We're not talking about, oh, maybe we'll see a result in a month or two. We're talking about we're going to see a result the day that we start doing this. Okay, the day that we start doing this, you're going to see a result. And when I say result, I don't just mean a result and you're going to get clients with this. This is like the way I'm going to show you to get clients is super easy, and you're going to love that. But with what you're doing for the business with these things, you're going to get them a result too. So by the end of this call, you're going to understand how to sell a service that works like crazy, both for you and for the business you sell it to, and understand how to sneak in the back door and make these $3,600 per year sales, okay? And so that's the idea. But the real big thing that I want to really get across to you all is once you learn how to do what I'm going to show you today, you're going to understand how to make this $3,600 per year sale over and over and over again. Does everybody here understand the power of having something simple that you can repeat over and over and over again, especially to the tune of $3,600 a year? How many of you think those $3,600 a year sales stack up pretty fast? How many of you think those $3,600 a year sales stack up pretty fast in your bank account? I want you guys to start doing the math for me. Do the math for me here. How many of these are we selling to get to 100K? How many of these are we selling to get to 100K? Anybody want to do the math for me real quick? Want to pop that into the chat real quick for me? How many of these are we selling to get to 100K? Okay, now here's what I want you all to understand. Here's what I want you all to understand. When you're doing the math here, and we're selling this $3,600 a year to 100K, it's around 30. like, and you can kind of go back and forth with this, but it's around 30. It's a little less, a little more, but you got the idea. It's around 30 of these. How many of you think getting to 100K, selling 30 of something is a pretty good setup for your entire year? Yeah. And listen, if you want to make more money than that, simple. This is super repeatable, and I'm going to show you today how to do it. So the idea behind this is we're going to go through, and I'm going to walk you through exactly how it works. So what we're going to be covering in the next 35 minutes or so is simply this. Part one, why old school marketing products and services are the easiest to get on the radar. It's the easiest way to get on the radar of businesses that will spend money with you, okay? And you're going to see why this old school banner thing that I use, that I think a lot of digital marketers laugh at, why they're leaving a ton of money on the table when they don't do something like this. And I'll show you that. Part two, how we use our stand-up banner offering to get new agency customers and why it's so effective. So we'll walk through that. Part three, how we turn a $300 stand-up banner sale into an instant, meaning an instant $3,600 per year plus agency customer. And also, by the way, I don't think I mentioned this, it's pretty hands-off after the initial setup. And you're gonna laugh at how simple the service is, because once we sign them up, it's hands-off. We don't do anything else after that. It's them paying us and them sort of being in a place where they keep paying us not to turn things off. And then finally, part four, how you can steal this entire setup that I'm going to show you how to do and nail down your first customer next week. Next week, customer number one. If you want to nail down customer number one next week, do me a favor and type customer one or customer number one in the chat right now. $3,600 sale. Give me a yes, give me a number one, give me a customer number one. Let me know that you want to knock that out. And for those of you that have kind of been looking for your angle, meaning I've tried a lot of stuff, but I've been looking for something that fits me, I think this is going to be something that is perfect for you. This has been working well for us for a long time now, in addition to our other stuff. But I love these customers because they pay me a lot of money and they're very low maintenance. And we get to build something pretty for them that you can actually physically see. So if you're ready to rock, you're ready to get into this, you're ready to see how to get your first customer next week, you're ready to see how to get a ton of these customers in the next year, give me a yes in the box right now. While you're doing that, I'm going to get a drink. That lets me know that I have your permission to keep going with this presentation. I want to see them. I want to see them. Perfect. Thank you. I'm seeing my chats filled up now. I love seeing them. Make sure you keep getting them in there. I want to know that you're here and that you are ready to go. Okay, let's dive in. Let's get started. Let's talk about part one. So part one, why old school marketing products, services are the easiest way to get on the radar of big spending small businesses. I want you to pay real close attention to what I'm about to say here. And these are two huge secrets. I have two big secrets that help me find and convert new agency customers that about 99%, I really mean this when I say 99%, 99% of agency owners out there do not understand. The agency owners that do understand this live in the 1%. Okay, they live in the 1% with me. And if you're not in that 1% yet, these two secrets can change everything. Okay, here they are. Secret number one. The more visual a product or service it is, the easier it is to sell it to your prospects. Does this make sense to everybody? Type number one for secret number one if this makes sense out of the gate. The more visual a product or service is, the easier it is to sell that service to your prospects. Now, that's something that maybe you haven't leaned into, but I say that one, even though it seems obvious, I say that one because sometimes it's good to get back to basics. But number two is really where the rubber meets the road. Secret number two, if you want to sell something that isn't highly visual and thus harder to understand, but maybe the profit margin's really good, all you need to do is strap on a visual piece to bridge the gap. Okay, now that brings me to some old school marketing methods that I really want to talk about. Old school marketing stuff sell well because it's tangible. It's easy to see. It's easy to understand. It's easy to touch. Okay, it's easy to see in a physical space. Now, here's what I mean. It's easy to understand what you're getting when you buy a billboard spot. Would you all agree with that? Hey, I paid money to get a billboard. I drove down the road, I saw my face on the billboard. Does everybody understand that that's something I can see with my eyes? It's in a physical space, right? Right? Now, I buy a new sign for the outside of my business. That's something that I can see, all right? I buy a newspaper ad, it shows up in this week's newspaper. I buy a spot on TV, I can turn on the TV and I can actually see it there. These are things that are easy for us to see. And because they're highly visual, you guys, they work really well. Now, there's a problem here for us digital folks. Would you all agree? How many of you look at that and you laugh because you say, oh, that's old stuff? That's old stuff, right? How many of you look at that and you say, you laugh because you say that's old stuff and businesses that are doing that are old school? Let me ask you a question. How many of you have ever talked to a law firm? How many of you have ever talked to a car dealership? How many of you have ever talked to a real estate agent and you look at where they're budgeting their money right now in 2023, where they're budgeting thousands and thousands of dollars every month? How many of you have really done the research? You guys, the vast majority of the small businesses that we talk to are still budgeting their money in these very old school, these very visual, these very easy to understand marketing techniques. The reason they're doing that is because it's what the people that control the money in the business understand the easiest. Give me a number one if you understand this. Give me a number one if you understand this and this makes sense. Doesn't mean we have to agree with it. Doesn't mean that we have to like it. Doesn't mean that we still can't snicker a little underneath our breath. But here's the thing you got to understand. They're spending money with these methods because it's actually driving revenue for them. Okay? Now, let's get real. Let's get real. How many of you think it's harder to sell SMS or email marketing services than the stuff that we just mentioned? Let's just talk about one of these more non-visual things that we like to sell. I love, my favorite product to sell is SMS and email. My favorite product to sell is SMS and email because I can set up automations and it's hands off after, right? But how many of you think it's harder to sell SMS and email marketing than an ad on TV, a billboard? Yeah, why? Why do you think it's so hard? Well, here's the thing. The reason why it's harder for most agency owners to sell SMS and email marketing, and this is just an example, but the reason why is this: the real value behind those services is buried in the automations. And the trouble is the customer has trouble visualizing that part. Give me an amen or a number one if this makes a lot of sense. If this makes a lot of sense. The real value behind email and text marketing and things like that is the automation that you can build into it. And it's difficult for someone to visualize those pieces. Now, going back to those couple of rules I talked about earlier, I stumbled on a clever way to start the sales conversation about these services a little while back, and I want to talk to you about them today. If you know why you came to this call, you know kind of what this thing is, but I really want to dig into this. It's these simple little retractable banners that you see at trade shows. It's these simple retractable banners that you see at trade shows and in bigger businesses. Anybody have an idea of what they cost? Before we go on from here, because I really want to nail this down. Anybody have an idea of what one of those cost? Anybody have an idea? And I'll show a few in a minute, but does anybody have an idea of what these retractable banners cost? Anybody know? 7 foot tall retractable banners. You can get a beautiful 7 foot tall retractable banner for about $150. The Revelry Hills one I showed you guys that my band at the beginning, that was about $150. Super simple. That was to my door. To my door, about $150. With shipping, depending on where you're at, you're looking at $150 to $170. Okay, so these retractable banners, they're inexpensive. They're not hard to put together. but they do something very interesting to open up a sales conversation with these businesses that are spending a lot of their money on old school things because of the visual part of it. So you want to see one of these? You want to see a few of these? You want to see a few of these banners? You want to see these and kind of what we're doing and how this works and what the full scale of this really is and how it leads into sales? So let's dig in and let's talk about how they work. Okay, let's dig in. Let's talk about how they work. So part 2, how we use our stand-up banner offering to get new agency customers and why it's so effective. I'm going to tell you guys right now, in the next 10 to 20 minutes, I'm going to drop some stuff on you that will change the way you do business forever, will change the way you get clients, will change the way you get them results, because this is stuff nobody's doing. Nobody's out there doing it. Nobody's especially out there teaching what I'm about to teach you in the next few minutes. So here's with one of the ones, I showed you this one already. Here's one that I built for my BAM. It's about 7 feet tall, and it's important that it's that big. It stands out in just about any place that I take it, okay? So there's one, and I got that one in yesterday. Here's one that I had printed about 10 years ago. Here's one that I had printed about 10 years ago for a product launch that I was doing back in 2013. So, okay, so this is a few people posing in front of one of my banners, and yeah, super simple, but there's nothing overly complicated. You can see my name at the top. You can see some of the graphics. You can see a QR code that probably doesn't work at this point because it's an old website, but you guys get the idea. Here's another one we built for our agency to sort of explain, what we were selling, okay? But those are great. But what I really want to show you today is the kind of banner that we build for actual local brick and mortar businesses. Do you guys want to see that? Do you guys want to see that? Today, I want to show you the kind of banners that we put, these retractable banners that we build for actual local businesses. If you'd like to see one, give me a big number 1 in the chat right now. Give me a big number 1 in the chat right now. Okay, so I want to show you this, and I want to explain what's going on, okay? Can you see the banner on your screen right now for Magellan Chiropractic? Now, Magellan, everybody knows me, Magellan is kind of our sample business, but this is exactly what we are selling to small businesses over and over and over and over and over again. And this leads into some big money in our pockets. They look kind of like this. So let me break down what you're seeing on your screen. Top of the screen is the picture of the owner of the business. They've got their name kind of written underneath them, and they've got the logo for their business here. From there, we've got something that is basically a headline. Discover the 3 exercises that you can do at home to get rid of your tension headaches once and for all. Scan the code on your phone's camera to get the guide for free. We have a QR code. Below the QR code, we have a direct link to go to where the QR code leads. Everybody understand the simplicity of these so far, but understand what we're doing. Everybody got this. Everybody got this. Now, these are extremely durable. They are extremely portable. Does everybody understand? If you don't understand how these work because you've never actually seen one in person, give me a yes in the box. If you want to know how these actually work, give me a yes in the box. And I think that this is incredibly important. Okay. So does everybody see the metal piece at the top of this banner, like above his head? You see the metal piece at the very top? See the metal piece at the very top? It's like a little, you can see a shiny little metal piece there. Give me a number 1 if you can see that. So you can see the picture, but like above the actual banner, there's a little metal piece. So what happens is there is a pole, and this pole basically splits into 3, but you stick it together, and the pole, actually you plant it in the base behind that, you stack it up, and then it puts it into the actual top metal piece, which holds the banner up. When you're done with the banner and want to move it, you take that pole out, you fold it, and this banner folds into itself. It literally rolls up, into the base at the bottom. And so all you're carrying is a base. And every one of these comes with a little bag that you can fit the pole, and the thing in. So they're easy to carry too. Does that make sense to everybody? Kind of what I said. They're super simple. They're just a little pole you put in the back, and then, like I said, super portable. So you can take them and put them. It's basically a reverse window shade. Exactly, Connie. It's basically a reverse window shade. So the idea is, yes, by the way, somebody said, why wouldn't you put the headline at the top? That's a great question. Let's talk copywriting. Let's talk marketing. Why is the headline not at the top? This is great. I love that question so much. And I get to teach you some marketing stuff here that will make you money. Why is the headline not at the top? Why is the face at the top? Okay, it's twofold. From a perspective of conversions, the color and the eyes and the smile catch your attention before a headline would. Does everybody understand that? Give me a number one. Remember, all we have to do in the beginning is catch attention. And the attention grabbing element here is that we actually have a face looking back at you. And those colors help too. So that's what catches your attention and actually gets you to read the headline. We have to catch attention before we can have the headline do its job. The face, the colors grab the attention, and your eye naturally goes down to the headline. Give me a big number one in the box if you understand that copywriting thing, because that'll translate to a lot of places. That'll translate to a lot of places. Okay. Now the next thing here that's super important is we want to make the practitioner, the owner, the person that they're going to be interacting with, the doctor, we want to make them famous before somebody ever even walks through the door. So this helps with bonding before someone converts. This makes someone more comfortable with picking up the phone and calling or going in because they feel like they already know the person. But from an agency perspective, I think you guys understand where I'm going with this. Does having the face of the owner or the manager or one of the main employees, does having the face on the banner help us sell it? What do you think? Is this an ego sale too? Does it kind of play into that part of things? Absolutely, it helps us as agencies to sell this because we are selling them themselves. Okay? All right, now, does everybody understand so far what we've covered in terms of how this catches your attention, how it does this? What happens on the back end for those of you that have already scanned this at home? Where do they go? Where do they go when you scan this code or go to the URL? By the way, the punchline has not been revealed yet as to the big use for these, so make sure you stick around for that. Where does it go when you scan these? It goes to an opt-in page, and once they opt into it, they get the guide sent to their phone and to their email. What happens in the chiropractic office every time somebody puts their phone number in this opt-in? For those of you that have gone to the opt-in page, what happens at the chiropractic office? What happens? Anybody know? They get an immediate notification. They get an alert via text that somebody's just opted in, and they get reminded, hey, this person has tension headaches. Maybe give them a call to check on them and see if they have any questions about the thing they just opted in for later in the day. Does everybody understand how this turns into business real fast? Like real damn fast. Now, let me ask you a question. Let me ask you an important question. If I can make sure that this is in a high traffic area, does everybody understand how this turns into instant business and everyday business for the business that we set it up for? If I can teach you guys how to put it in a high traffic area, does this turn into instant business? What do you guys think? Where do you put them? Oh, stay tuned, my friend. I will teach you soon. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. I will teach you where to put these to generate a ton of business in just a minute and how we do that. But so far, does everybody make sense? Does this make sense to everybody? Jess says, I wouldn't put download in the lead capture page. People are scared of downloading stuff. No, they're not. I disagree. I disagree, and I only disagree because I have data. Now, are some people afraid of downloading stuff? Sure, I absolutely agree with that, but not the kind of people that we're going to get into our office. And remember, we're not trying to attract everybody, okay? Now, let's keep going. Let's keep going. Can I tell you a secret about this retractable banner that will explain a lot about how it gets me pitch meetings with new customers? You guys want to know a secret that's going to make you money this week? Who wants to know a secret that's going to make them money this week? Who wants to know a secret that's going to make them money this week that maybe you didn't even think about when you signed up for this retractable banner thing? Yeah, you want some heat? Who wants the tea? Who wants to drink the tea? All right, so here is the secret. I can mock 10 to 20 of these up in an hour and get 5 to 7 meetings with the Facebook message, all done online. Everybody understand that what you're looking at is not an actual banner in an office. It's a mock-up, right? I think everybody gets that. This is a mock-up. This is just a mock-up set in a digital space, but it's a mock-up that tells a story. How many of you think that you could go to 10 to 20 chiropractors' Facebook pages or websites, snag their picture and logo, and you could create something like this, and you could do 10 to 20 of them in an hour? All digital mock-ups, all ready to go. So what I'm doing is I'm making mock-ups of this banner, which is a real banner that you can make. I'm doing mock-ups. I'm inserting the picture of the chiropractor in this case, but it could be real estate agents, it could be car dealerships, but I'm inserting the key figure. I'm putting the logo, and I'm sending a message. I'm sending a message to the business. Would you like to see the message I send potential clients to get an online pitch meeting scheduled to talk about the sale that I'm about to make them? You want to see it? You guys want to see it? You want to see the message? This is the dumbest way that I ever get clients, but it works. It's weird. It works. It's short. It's not elaborate, but it works. Let's dig in. Let me show you what that message is. Part 3, how we turn a $300 stand-up banner sale into a $3,600 per year agency customer. Let's talk about that message and where this leads us. So here's the message that I send on Facebook. Here's the message that I send on Facebook that gets me meetings. Hey, Dr. Magellan, I built you something and I'd love to chat with you about how to get it over to your office. CPIC. And I send that message, and I send the mock-up, just like the one you're seeing there, to the actual offices. You may want to screenshot this. This is money. Why does this work? Why do you think that message is so effective in getting a meeting? Why do you think this message is so effective in getting a meeting? Why do you think? Why do you think? It's visual, it appeals to the ego, it feels like it's already done. And do you think they probably scan the code and check out what's behind it too and get an idea? Yeah. Does it feel like it's already done? How many of you think that you're going to get some responses the second you start doing this? Meaning you do a mock-up with their face in it, with their logo in it, you send this message with their name. How many of you think you are going to get some responses right away? It is incredibly difficult. Please write what I'm about to say down. Please write this down. This is important. It is incredibly difficult for someone not to respond to you when their face is in the visual. That one thing that I just told you will change your life. Give me a number 1 if you understand what I just said and you lock that in. It is incredibly difficult not to respond to you when you put their face in the visual thing that you send them. Incredibly difficult. It is so hard. So hard. This will get you responses. Now, what do you think I explain in the pitch meeting? What do you think I explain in the meeting when we get going together? What do you think? And I don't have time to go through the whole thing right now, but I'll give you a real quick overview of what I explained in the pitch meeting. What do you think I explained in the pitch meeting? When we actually send that out and they say, yeah, we'd love to talk. Here's what I do. I explain the banner, I explain the funnel, I explain the service, and I explain how it gets them customers every single week. Now, you may be sitting there thinking, Ben, I'm still missing one piece of this system. Who's sitting there and they feel like they're missing one piece of this system? Who's sitting there like, well, that's great, it's a banner, but how does that get them customers? Where do we put these things? Where do we put these things? Where do we put these banners that they're doing things? We can't just put it in their office. That's people that are already in their office, right? How many of you are sitting there and you're like, Atkins, you've told me everything, but you're holding something back. You're holding something back that you've not told me. Give me a number one if you want to know the big secrets that you only get to hear if you made it here. You ready to hear the secret? How do you think we get this in front of ideal customers for our agency customers? How do we get this banner sitting in front of the kind of people that they want to come through their doors? There is huge money in what you are about to learn how to do. Okay, nobody does this that talks about it. So if you showed up today, if you are here right now, you are learning something that nobody talks about. You ready? Give me a number one if you want to know. Give me a number one if you want to know where we stick these that drive business every single week for our real estate agents, for our chiropractors, for our car dealerships, for our dentists, for our tire and lube, for our air people, our heating and air people. Here's what we do. You ready? Simply put, we rent out a small space in local restaurants where the banner can go up and do its work while people eat. It's dumb. I know it's dumb, but it's insane how many leads this drives for a business every single week. Why? Why is putting one of these 7-foot tall banners up in a restaurant so effective? Because we have what? We have what? What do we have in these restaurants? We have high traffic. We have a captive audience. We have an audience that has their phones on them. We have an audience that's relaxing for a few minutes. They're not distracted by 800 other work things or stuff at home. It's something that they're there, they're looking around, and they're going to be there for a while. They're going to be there for a while. Now, why do our clients love these things? I think that's easy. Why do our clients love these? I think everybody here understands how a banner like why with like what I showed you would drive traffic. That's great. But I think the actual, we're getting in front of their market there. That's easy. But why do restaurants love this? Why do restaurants love this? How many of you have ever run a restaurant or you've worked with restaurant owners? How many of you have ever worked with restaurant owners, or you've owned your own restaurant, or you've worked at a restaurant? What is one of the number one concerns every single month in a restaurant? What's one of the number one concerns? Paying the rent. Paying the rent. Would you agree? Would everybody here agree that one of the number one concerns in a restaurant is paying the rent? Let me ask you a question. Do you think it's very easy for a restaurant owner and manager to put a banner like what we just showed for a small monthly fee? No, they don't take up a lot of space overall. You can stick them in a corner, but do you think that somebody owning a restaurant is perfectly happy to help get the rent paid every month by using a piece of their space creatively? Those of you that have worked with restaurant owners as marketers and digital agencies, you absolutely know that this is dead simple easy. Are we talking $1,000 to put a banner up? Are we talking $500 to put a banner up a month? Are we talking $300 to put a banner up every month? No, you guys, no. We're talking $100. We're talking $100 in a lot of instances to put a banner up that advertises and drives insane business for us. Now, why would a restaurant agree to $100 a month? Why would a restaurant agree to $100 a month? Because it's something that fits in a corner. It's something that fits in a corner that doesn't disrupt their marketing, that doesn't disrupt their flow, that helps pay the bills. It's capital that they are earning from, and Scott nailed it. I want everybody to pay attention to what Scott just said because this is perfect. It is capital raised from wasted space. Does everybody understand that a good restaurant, it is all about maximizing the money you can make in all the space that you have? And if you have wasted space that isn't making money that you can fill with something that does, it's capital raised from wasted space. Give me a number 1 in the box if you understand that's that. Can I tell you how I pitch it to the restaurant real quick before we move on? This isn't on the slide, but can I tell you how I pitch it to the restaurant? Real easily. You ready? Give me number 1 if you want to know the easiest way to pitch it to a restaurant. Can I speak to your manager for a couple minutes? Cool. Manager comes out. Hi, I've got a business proposition for you. Would you mind if I made you an extra $1,200 a year without you having to do anything different in the restaurant, just to help pay the rent? Guys, it's over. It's over. It's simple. It's done. It's taken care of. An extra $1,200 a year for free that these restaurants make just by letting our customers put one of these in their business. Does everybody understand the win-win? Who here just had a light bulb go off and understands what we're doing? Give me a yes if you understand the win-win across the board here. The win-win across the board. We have these banners that advertise for our customers and generate revenue for them. We want to put them up in a restaurant. Our person agrees to pay $100 a month to put it in. Would this work for chains? No, I don't put them in chains. I don't put them in chains. Never do. Typically, what I find is chains aren't the most popular restaurants in a lot of my areas anyway. Okay? Now, if you had a light bulb go off so far, give me a number 1 in the box. If we said something during this call with these banners, with what we're adding on, does everybody understand the digital component? What am I charging $3,600 a year for on the back of these banners? I'm setting up the automated funnel for $300 a month. Okay? I'm setting up $300 a month for the tech that goes on the back of these banners. That's $3,600 plus per year. That's our foot in the door. We make sure that there is a direct agreement with the business to pay for their spot. When you get these set up, do you have to do anything else for your mini billboard business other than not shut it off, the tech? Do you have to do anything else for your mini billboard business other than not shut the tech off in the back end. You set this stuff up once, you make sure you're getting paid every month. Give me a yes or a number one if you have light bulbs going off so far. Give me a yes or a number one if you understand so far. Okay? How many of you are ready to learn how to get paid monthly to set this kind of thing up once for small business owners? The step-by-step, every piece of the puzzle. You want to learn how to build your own mini banner business. Give me a yes in the box if you would like to learn the step-by-step, all the pieces of the puzzle. You'd like to see behind the scenes how we do everything that we do, from build the banners to sell the banners to putting all of the pieces of the puzzle together. Give me a yes in the box right now if you'd like to see the full step-by-step of how it works. Okay? Okay? Part 4, how you can steal our entire stand-up banner system and templates and nail down your first customer with it next week. So I'd really like to see you take the framework that I've perfected with these over the last 10 years and use it to get 10 clients for your agency in the next 45 days. With what I showed you, if you get all the pieces of this and you put it together, it's super simple to go get 10 new clients with this in your agency in the next 45 days. Now, this coming week, I'm going to be doing a private workshop where I'll be taking you behind the scenes and showing you every single piece of our retractable banner system and how you can set one up for yourself and make real money with it. For those of you that have been looking for an angle that works for you and it's something that bridges the gap and where you've lost being able to get customers interested, this is it. The goal of this workshop for me is simple: help 100 folks get 5 to 10 new customers, paying them $3,600 plus per year in the next 45 days using this powerful foot in the door technique. If you'd like one of those 100 seats, do me a favor and type "pick me" in the questions box right now. Type "pick me" in the questions box right now if you would like one of the 100 seats for this very special workshop that we're going to be putting together to take you behind the scenes and show you how to put all of this together and how to build a truly fun business that is so simple to run. And once you get a client set up, you don't have to touch a thing. Awesome. So my chat is now filled up with pick me's. By the way, you guys can't see the chat, but I have so many people that want one of the 100 spots. Let me teach you a little bit about what's inside so that you can make a good decision on whether you want one of those spots for sure or not. So let's talk about it. I'd like to invite each and every one of you inside something called the retractable banner system. This is how you can build your own mini billboard business with tech as the back end. And it is basically, you open the door with this, you have them paying you $3,600 plus per year every single client. For those of you that did the math on what that takes to get you to 100K, remember, this is mostly software doing the work through the entire thing after you get the initial setup. Okay, so here's what we're going to actually go through. Part 1, where to find the ideal customers. Who are the ones that are ideal for this type of business? What are the niches? How do you find them? I'm going to show you exactly how to discover the ideal customers, how to find them, how to set up to go after them fast. From there, there's what we call a banner mock-up technique that we use to go prospect. We'll go in and you'll learn how to get a 70% response rate with our unique mock-up. I'm going to show you how to mock these banners up inside of Canva using existing assets that the potential client already has on the web. You'll mock these up in Canva, and then you'll go on a tear sending out messages. These messages are literally one sentence. I mean, that's it. It's super simple. We send out one sentence, we send the image that we mock up in Canva, and we send it out to the people so that we can get on their radar. From there, what do we actually say? What do we actually say to these folks when they reach back out to us? So part 3, how we pitch and close banner customers. You'll see the exact pitch that we use to close these customers and get them locked in as a paid customer in a single meeting. Once we understand the pitch, okay, cool, we get them interested, we get them going. How do we turn these people into $3,600 per year? You'll see exactly how we turn maybe a $300 banner sale into a $3,600 per year customer using a simple on-the-spot upgrade process. So how are we doing this? And really what I'm going to be covering in this, just to give you behind the scenes, is how you turn this, how you turn this into a 100K per year business. That's what I really want to go over in part 4. So I'll show you how we turn this into a 3,600 per year, but I really want to explain how this turns into a 100K plus per year business. All right, after we do that, part 5, how do we design and print this? I know that not everybody here is a graphic design expert. That's okay. All right, I'm going to show you how we design these right inside of Canva, how we print the banners, how we get them delivered to where they need to go the right way. Even if you don't live in the town that you are prospecting in, which I don't most of the time, you can do this easily in person. I don't most of the time. I'm going to show you how we design, print the banners, and get them delivered, how we do everything inside of Canva, and more importantly, how you can do this in about 5 minutes to set it up. This is super, super simple. Part 6, how we set up the full banner service and technology. You may have noticed that the banners we set up lead to an online opt-in page. What's the tech behind it? I think most of you have guessed the tech behind it because you follow me for a while, but I'm going to show you every piece of that tech down to the messages in the automations and how we set those things up, okay? So from there, that's a pretty good walkthrough of the entire business, but that's not all. That's not all. If you get in before the end of this call, you're also going to get a few bonuses that are going to make this incredibly easy for you. I shouldn't be giving this away. This should just stay in my private collection of templates, my private collection of information. But you guys know me. If you showed up today, I'm bringing the heat for you. So here's the bonuses. Bonus number 1, how to get the banners in places in high traffic zones for our customers. I tipped you off to where we're putting these. What's the negotiation like? How do you get this set up with businesses? How do you make sure that it is where it needs to be to drive business for the customer that's paying you? So how do we negotiate with these restaurants? How do we actually make sure that we're putting the banners in these spots so that it's beneficial to us, the agency owner, it's beneficial to our client, the business that's paying us, and it's beneficial to the restaurant too. It's a 3-way great deal for everybody. We're going to talk about that in bonus number 1. Bonus number 2, access to my private retractable banner templates. I'm going to give you access to the templates that we use. Would you like to hear the most beautiful part about these templates? It's that really easily you can switch businesses and headlines out fast. You don't have to be a designer. You change the text, you change the image, and I'll show you how to edit these templates very, very fast. And then I'll show you how to do the mock-up really quickly to prospect, but also how to print these and get them sent to your house, get them sent to the business. I'll show you how to go all the way from our templates to printed item that is standing right next to you or is standing right next to your customer. So that's bonus number 2. Bonus number 3, there is a Facebook post that you can post that instead of just reaching out directly to the businesses, I'll show you how to make a post on your Facebook that's going to get you customers as well. So I'm going to give you my retractable banner social post template that's going to help you to reach out to a ton of customers at once. So all those things said, if you are excited to get a spot, if you are excited to get a spot and to learn all the pieces of this puzzle, to understand how to do this and turn this into a full-time business, and you want one of those 100 seats, give me a number 1 in the box if you are excited to get a spot for this and you want to make sure that you get one of those spots. Okay, well, good. I got a ton of number 1s. Give me a number 2 if you're excited to close your first $3,600 per year business with this setup. Okay, good. So I got lots of number 1s. Now I'm getting lots of number 2s. Good. I want you excited because this is going to be one of those trainings that you're going to be doing something that nobody else does. Well, me and a few others that I've taught this to in the past privately, but you are going to be in blue ocean. Nobody else does this. You are going to be wide open. You're going to be delivering customers because you're putting it in a high traffic area. You're going to be setting your folks up. But there is one small catch. If you get one of the 100 seats, congratulations, because there are only going to be 100 seats. There is 100 seats and there is nothing more. Does everybody understand that? Type 100 if you understand there are only 100 seats, and there will be no exceptions on this one. There will be no exceptions on this one. Once we sell out, no exception will be made. There's no going to Ben's help desk and saying, I know Ben said this, but can you sneak me in? I have given my desk specific instructions not to sell this after the 100 spot is gone. Here's why. I spent tens of thousands of dollars perfecting this technique over the last decade, and I only want those inside that are my VIPs and they're ready to actually take action. If you are here just to learn another magic trick that you don't do something with, this is not for you. Give me a yes if you are going to take action on this, if you learn all the pieces to it. Give me a yes if you're for real going to actually do this. If all you want to know is another magic trick because this is a hobby of yours, this is not for you. This is for people that are doers. I want to make sure that we're here. If you do this, you will get clients, they will get business, this will work well for you. But I want to make sure that only the folks that are going to use this get in. Okay, so if you're lucky enough to grab one of those seats, you must be ready to take notes. You must put everything in action immediately after the live workshop. I want to see you get results in the first 2 to 3 weeks of this. Fast. So here it is. If you act and you get in before the call ends, I'm going to give you a monster deal for the seat to get inside. Does that sound good? Does that sound good? Are you ready for the link? If you're ready for the link, I want you to type link in the box right now. And the folks that do that, that's going to cue me to actually put the link. Now remember, before I go to this slide with the actual link on it, there are 100 spots. There are only 100 spots. If we sell out live on the call, I can't make any exceptions if you didn't get in. Okay? All right, here we go. I want you to get inside the retractable banner system. I want you to be a part of this training. I want you to get your first $3,600 plus per year client within the first week to 2 weeks of this. And it all starts with you going here now. spskr.com/banner secret. Go right now, get inside, make sure you get your seat locked. Do not wait on this one. While you are getting your seat, I'm going to do a real quick recap of what you're getting if you get one of those 100 seats inside when you go to spskr.com and go to /banner secret. So here's what we're getting. Part one, we're going to talk about who are the ideal customers. I don't want you going after everybody with this. There's a specific group of people that are wide open for this and they're ready to go. I want you to go after these specific folks. So part one, we're going to cover who are the ideal customers to go after so that it's easy. Part two, how we prospect using the banner mockups. Okay, how to prospect using the banner mockups. Part of our prospecting process, the beauty of this is we don't have to do it in person. You can mock up a banner with the ideal customer that you've prospected. You said, this is who I want to go after. You can actually send them their face on this, and I'm going to show you how to do that. So I'm going to show you the banner mock-up system, how we do it, and how you can get a 70% response rate using this technique. It is powerful. Part three, how we pitch and close banner customers. Once you get their attention, how do you get them on a meeting? How do you actually close the deal? We're going to walk through that. From there, how do we turn a banner client into a $3,600 per year client? Okay, so how do you turn that $300 that maybe we would just charge for a banner into somebody that's paying you $3,600 per year? By the way, if you've made it in, come back to the chat, type in the box so I can welcome you here in a few minutes. So part four, we're going to talk about how to get that $3,600 per year. And more importantly, in this section, I'm going to talk about how to turn this, which is something that is very interesting to everybody that ever sees it. Everybody I ever present this to, they absolutely love this, and it's easy to get them as a client because of the novelty of how this whole thing works and how it brings physical into the digital world. I'm going to show you how to turn this into a 100K per year business. Okay. From there, part five, how we design, print the banners, and get them delivered. I'll show you step by step what we're doing inside of Canva, exactly how we change these things out super simply. We get them printed, we get them proofed, we get them set off, everything super simple. By the way, for those of you that are on the fence, I'm watching my chat right now. There are a lot of folks getting in. Please make sure you get your spot before we sell out. Part six, how we set up a full banner service and the technology behind it. You guys noticed there's a QR code on each one of these. There's a URL on each one of these. What are we doing with the technology behind it so that it's not just them buying a banner from us, it's them paying us a monthly fee to support the technology behind the banner. Make sure you get in now. Go to spskr.com/banner secret. Get one of those seats before we sell out, you guys. This is one of those things that you all will absolutely want to understand how to do. And let me tell you, there is not going to be a greater feeling. If you've had any trouble in the past, when you close your first deal with this, yeah, it's going to be something, because this is what you're going to realize when you close that first deal with this, that you can do this over and over and over and over again. This is one of those things that is a simple business. Remember, we said 2023, it's about selling simple. This is as simple of a business as it comes, you guys. It's super easy to do. And when you do it once, you'll understand that, oh my gosh, I'm going to keep padding my bank account with every one of these that I do. And that's the idea behind what we're after. So that's part 6. But remember, if you get in before the call-ins, we've got some bonuses. And here are the bonuses that we've got. Bonus number one, how we get banners in places with high traffic zones. How do we negotiate with these restaurants? How do we make it a benefit to them? I gave a few hints on the call, but I'm going to give you everything about how we do this step by step in the bonus. So everybody that gets in before the call ends, you're gonna get this bonus. You're also gonna get bonus number 2, which is my templates, my Canva templates that you can just move images in and out of quickly. Have these ready to go. I'll show you the mock-up process. I'll show you the print process. I'll show you how to get them delivered to your house, how to get them delivered to your customers' houses. We'll go through all of those things. And finally, part 3, I'm gonna give you a nice little bonus. We post this every so often in various locations. How to make a social media post that is going to get this out in front of your potential clients. So I know I've got questions. I'm going to get to questions. If you have a question, type QQQ, then type your question in. And I'm also going to start welcoming people in. Remember, when you get done with the checkout process, make sure that you jump in. Julie says, can you post the link? Yep, we'll post the link one more time in the chat so you guys can see that. The link is coming up. It's spskr.com/banner secret. We'll post that one more time. There you go, into the chat. And let's talk about questions, okay? Donna says, does your system involve us as a digital agency owner negotiating buying banner space on behalf of the client, or does the client do that? I do have some clients that do that, but Donna, it's a simple phone call, or a lot of the time, or a simple Facebook message to get that process going with where we put the space. It's not hard. Even if you've ever done it before, I'll walk you through how to do it, okay? Mike says, how do you monitor the restaurant to make sure they keep the banner up in a visible spot? Typically, this is the beautiful part, the client does that. Like, our actual client stops by every so often. That's not something that's expected of us. They stop by, make sure the banner still looks good and it's up in a good spot, and that's what they're paying for every month is actually being honored. We set up the space, but it's the client that's actually monitoring that. Everybody got that? Give me a yes if that makes sense to you, and I'll explain more of that inside the training. We set up the relationship, but it's the client, our agency client, that's monitoring a lot of that. Okay? All right. Love it. Love it. Let's see. Troy says, can this work for customers in other cities where I don't live? 100%. Most of what I do with this, Troy, is in other cities. I don't do a lot of this in my own city. I do a lot of it in other cities. And so I'll be showing you guys exactly how to do this from a distance. It's not hard. You just kind of have to know how to do it. And you got to be willing to do it the first time. Once you do it the first time, it gets pretty smooth after that, because it's a simple process. Does everybody understand that everybody wins here? Everybody wins. We win, we make money. The customer wins because they're in high traffic locations with something that's going to generate business. The restaurant wins because the restaurant is going to make money off of rent for this banner, okay? Let's see here. How much do banners cost to produce? About 150 bucks. Simple, easy peasy. Randy says, I'm in, I have a med spa client. Best businesses to approach to locate the med spa banners. We'll cover that as we get into this, but yeah, the restaurant model works with that too. Andrew says, which comes first, the banner client or the placement? The banner client. The banner client. I'm not going to go find a placement if I don't have a client yet. When I have a client, basically, I think some people are getting hung up on, like, how do I get this into a restaurant? You offer them free money. Everybody got what I just said. How do you get them into a restaurant? You offer them free money. Rarely does anybody turn down free money because of what I'm doing. Now, let me ask you a question. Do you think the restaurant cares about the content of the banner? Absolutely. We show them the mock-up before we close the deal. That makes sense? Good. Make sure you get one of those 100 spots at spskr.com/banner secret before we sell out, you guys. Trust me right now, and I'm saying I never reveal how many we've sold. You should get in. You should get in now and not wait on this one. Let's see. Did you say we're paying the business $100 a month to put it in? Yes, but we're not. The business, our client is. They're paying rent for their banner, not us. We're just setting up the deal. Great question from you and also from Donna. Good question. Yes, client is in charge of paying the restaurant as well. I'll show you how we set that up between the two, though. We make it easy to get going, and then it's just a transaction. Okay. Why didn't you offer this before the automation training? This is why, because if you didn't understand all the power of the automation stuff, this wouldn't have made as much sense. Now that you understand the power of all the automation stuff we're doing, this even makes more sense. This is timed on purpose. And like I said, I've never taught this before, but there you go. Danny says, have you ever tried it in malls? I haven't, and this is why, Danny. I think that these things could absolutely work in malls, but people aren't as captive audience in malls. They're moving around. Does that make sense, buddy? I'm going for the home run balls for my client. I like people that are sitting down and looking around. That's my core stuff here. How do you get the bands to pay for these? I don't sell these to bands. I showed a picture of mine that was for a band in the beginning just to show you that I don't just use these for one kind of business, but I don't sell bands with these. I sell these to small businesses. Hopefully that makes sense. I'm not making money selling stuff to bands most of the time, you guys. I'm selling stuff to small businesses that have money. The reason I don't sell them to bands is most bands don't know how to run a business. Great question, though. What else we got? What is the recurring fee I pay for the technology? Like you pay? I'll set you up a trial, but we use something called Customer Engine. For those of you that don't use Customer Engine, if you've got it for multiple clients, it's $200 a month. One client pays for that, and everything else after that is gravy. Hopefully that makes sense. What's the churn on the placements? Oh, I'm so glad you asked this question, Harry. I'm so glad you asked this. Let me ask you a question. Does the churn go down on our service when there's a physical component to go with it? Do you think our customer churn goes up or down when there is a physical component that's actually sitting in a restaurant? Oh, this is so good. It goes way down. If there's a physical component to your digital service, they stay longer. They stay a lot longer. And if you'll remind me, I'll also make sure that I show you guys, and just tell me yes if you're interested in this. I'll make sure I show you guys how to get all your money up front instead of having to wait month to month. You guys interested in that? You guys interested in how to get all your money up front for the year rather than wait for the monthlies? Yeah? Okay, cool. I'll show you how we do that. Derek, don't let me forget to put that in the training, is like how we get all of our money up front when we sell these things, because I think that's something that we do, and I didn't even think to put it into the stuff, but I'll make sure as another bonus, I'll make sure we put that in for you guys. Does the client pay for the banner, or is it absorbed into our cost? That's part of kind of how we wheel and deal, Virginia, and I'll explain that to you as we get into this. That's part of the pitch process. Let's see what else we got. Can this be used with other local businesses? Sure, but I like I said, I'm going to show you a very specific setup that it makes sense. Mike says, oh, Mike's thinking. This is what I love about Mike. Mike, you were on it, and Mike is understanding how I make more money with this. Mike says, everybody please pay attention to Mike's question that just came in. Mike says, how often does the restaurant want their own banner to build a list? Almost every single time we place this at a restaurant, I get the restaurant as a client too. Everybody got that, what I just said? Why? Why does this work so well to get our foot in the door to sell the restaurant something too? That's very similar to this. Why does it work so well? Because they get paid to see what we're doing, and they see how it works, okay? Who approaches the restaurant? We do. But don't be panicked by that. It's super easy because you're giving them free money, Okay. Are the leads going right to your customer? Yes. What else we got? Can be used with other niches with foot traffic? Sure. I'm going to show you our system. Listen, how many of you think that you can put a spin on the system that I'm going to show you Tuesday and it'll still work really well? Give me a number one if you think that each of you could put your own spin on the system and it would work really well. Yeah, right? Of course it would. What I'm going to be teaching you, though, is the one that works for me that we've dialed in. Everybody got that? Everybody got that? I'm going to show you the one that works for us. Feel free to put your own spin on it. That's fine. But I'm going to show you the one that works for us. Okay? Drew, can I read that out loud? Can I read that out loud? Drew just says he just pre-sold a banner using your screenshot. Yeah, this works because it's so visual, you guys. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay. Can you put more than one? Can you put more than one business on the banner? Don't do that. Trust me. It's going to destroy the effectiveness of the banner. One business per banner. They're not that expensive. The business pays for it. Do multiple banners in a restaurant if you want, but there you go. Okay. Do you have a recommendation on how many banners per restaurant? I typically do 2 to 3. Okay. Do you also use NFC tags on the back? I haven't yet, but that's something that we're going to be testing very soon. I love that. Are you providing all the lead magnets for the different business types? Yeah, but just because I'm stuck in a niche and so I have them done already. If you need help creating that lead magnet, just yell. That they're not hard. Let's see here. Do you put the restaurants banners in the doctor's offices? Oh, now you're catching on. Now you're catching on. How many of you heard what Jerry just asked? How many of you heard me read out what Jerry just asked? Do you put the restaurant banners in the doctor's offices? What do you think happens when we start doing those kinds of things? This is where it gets good. You stop paying rent. You stop paying rent. But there you go. There you go. All right, you guys, we're getting to the end here. I want to make sure I get you guys out there. If you don't have a spot for this yet, make sure you get it. Drew is in. Craig's in. Andrew's in. Ken's in. Gregory's in. We got Mike that's in. We got Harry that's in. We got Randy that's in. We got Scott that's in. We got Adrian that's in. We got Rick that's in. We got lots of people that are in. We got Jamil that's in. I got lots and lots of ins. I don't know that I can read them all. Point is, make sure you get your spot before we get out of here, you guys. Go to spskr.com/banner secret. Make sure you get one of these. I guarantee you, each and every one of you that gets one of the spots, if you're one of the 100, this is going to be one of the most fun things that we do in terms of getting clients, servicing clients, and in terms of how we sell the technology that's hard for people to visualize sometimes. This is your foot in the door. Make sure you get a spot. Go to spskr.com/banner secret. Thank you guys for being here. We love you all a ton. We're going to work on getting a replay for you guys. I cannot guarantee how many spots will be left when the replay comes out, so make sure you get your spot now at the URL on the screen. All right, love you guys a ton. Be good. Take care of yourself. Thanks for being here. Everybody that got in today, I will see you next Tuesday. We're going to have a whole lot of fun on this. I guarantee you, you're going to have a blast offering this as a service, and it's going to make you some money. And that's what it's all about. Delivering big results for customers, making some good money in the process. I think you're going to absolutely love this process. All right, be good. Take care of yourselves. I will see everybody that got in this coming Tuesday. Make sure you get one of those 100 spots at spskr.com/banner secret. All right, be good. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next week if you got a spot on the live call. All right.